I'll tell you this. It wasn't him dropping 81. It wasn't him dropping 62 in three quarters against the Mavericks or outscoring the Mavericks in three quarters. It was when they won their fourth championship. So at the time, my grandfather was his health was starting to go into decline at that point. And the one thing that we would do a lot of the time is whenever there was a Lakers game on, because he was a big Lakers fan um, when he was younger. And it was just really cool to just sit down and watch the Lakers win win the title against the Orlando Magic for Kobe's fourth title. And it was just really cool for me to spend quality time with my grandfather just watching Kobe go to work. And I know that there's so many memories that you can pick and choose from. But that one will always kind of stand out to me just because even though that my grandfather he had a stroke when I was before I was born, and he really couldn't speak that much, but I was able to communicate with him, and we really spent a lot of quality time watching Lakers games, even though that he wasn't in the best health necessarily. And it was just looking back at it, I'm glad I was able to spend that time with him, but at the same time watching Kobe Bryant just go out and do his thing. That is something for me. I'm really thankful that Kobe brought to my grandfather and I, because it's priceless. You can't put a price on that.
So I would say my favorite memory of Kobe. Well, I don't know. I can't even really knock it down to one. I have like two or three. I would say the first one would be Kobe's first championship, which was was it the Sixers or was it the Nets? I can't remember which one that was. 2000 was
I
the
think it was
Sixers.
I think it was the Sixers.
So
Yeah, they played the Pacers at some point in that three-peat. I think they
so
played
I
the
would
Pacers and
say,
the Nets.
yeah, I know the Nets they swept the Nets and they swept the Pacers, but the Sixers were the ones that gave them that one game, like Allen Iverson dropped like 50, and
Yeah.
I think it was in game one too, where it was like I was so young, I was like 6 or 7, because it was 2000, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, this is when I just started getting into basketball, so I'm looking and I'm talking with my dad, and he's showing me all the tidbits and like, oh son, like that's Allen Iverson, that's the Dikembe Mutombo, like I'm just like, oh wow, like this is incredible. And then Allen dropped 50. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, Dad, oh my God, is it over? And I'll never forget, my dad looked over to me and he was like, son, watch. They'll be ready next game. And they went on to win 4 straight. And obviously they went on to three-peat. But that beginning, that's like the first big memory I had. And I was just in awe. Like Kyle was in awe. I was like, oh my God. Like this man is incredible. He was our Michael. When Michael played, we were too young. Like Michael finished in 98. He came back for a short time, so we got to see him again, but it was like he was a shell of himself. Still Michael, but not Chicago Michael. But to see Kobe from the age of 6 all the way through my life, but to see it start there was magical. Like I can't really use another word because I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, this man would on the blink of an eye go for 30 in the finals matchup. Shaq go for 30 and 20. And it's just like, these two guys are incredible. My next memory would be Kobe losing to Boston in 07 or 08, because San
Yeah, it
Antonio
was
had
the
07.
07. It was the 07. Oh, it was the 2008
No,
season.
yeah, I was gonna say because the year
2008
before
season.
was the sweep of Braun by the Spurs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at this point, I have already transitioned my fandom into the Mavericks. I became a Mavericks fan short after the 2004 season, which was Steve Nash's last year in Dallas. So I was already in the full swing of being obsessed with Dirk and like I can't believe someone of that size. Growing up, I watched Shaq, so someone tall. I never put a jump shot skilled athlete like that together 1-on-1. So when I saw Dirk and I saw Steve, I just kind of transitioned, and my dad was like, if that's the way you want to do it, pick your team and then roll with it. Don't come back to the Lakers show. Like, don't come back to the Lakers show. We don't want you if you're gonna leave. Because he was like, Shaq already left. We don't need people leaving like you. And I was like, no. Like, I'm gonna stay with it. So 3 years down the road, I'm well indulged in the basketball. I'm 12 years old, 13 years old, about to go into high school, and Kobe goes and loses to the Celtics in 6. I was in distraught because that was the person, like I had said so many times on this call, that was the guy that I had looked up to for so long. That's a guy that I still love to watch and play basketball. Like, the man he could do no wrong in my eyes. Obviously, the legal case that he had was dismissed and whatnot. I'm not excluding that. Kobe was no perfect human. What I'm saying in regards to basketball, the man was just so almost godlike to me to see him lose, other than the Detroit series, because the Detroit Pistons was just an overall better team. Like, I feel like the Lakers just were not prepared for that. I felt like they underplayed them, and that big four of Tayshaun Prince, Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton, and Ben Wallace were just like ridiculous. But like, to see them go toe to toe with their arch rival, hearing my dad talk about it growing up, Boston and LA, for them to lose the way that they did, and Kobe to struggle and to grind and literally just look like he had been defeated, like the hero of my story lost. And I was just like, what? I then realized Kobe, the gears were turning. He had said publicly, like, this isn't over. And I'm just like, man, Kobe about to be back. It's gonna be all right. Like, Boston need to come back. Boston needs to do what they need to do and come back. Like you said, they go on the next season and they beat the Magic. Should have been Cleveland. Honestly, I feel like it would have been a better matchup. I don't think Orlando was ready yet. And the next season comes up. We get the rematch we've all been waiting for. 2010 season, we got the Lakers coming back to repeat. Kobe mops the floor with them. They win in 6. But Kobe was just a man on a whole nother. He did not care what he needed to do.
They won 7.
It was 7? I thought it was 6.
They beat the Celtics in Game 7. It was Game 7. Remember? Kobe didn't have like that great of a Game 7. Ron Artest scored like 20 points in Game 7.
Oh, right. Ron Artest went off that game. That's right. Game 6, Kobe struggled, actually. And that was in Boston, right? Because back then it was 2-2, 1-1-1, right?
Nope.
Or it was 2-3.
2-3-2.
2-3-2. Okay. I don't know why. My memory is all foggy.
Yeah. The way that I remember it was the Lakers were down 3-2 going back to LA for Game 6. They dominated Game 6, and then Game 7 was really a defensive battle.
But Kobe didn't have a good Game 6.
No, I thought he had a decent Game 6. I don't have the stat. But Game 7 was the battle. He struggled. Game 7, he struggled.
To get back on my memory, obviously it's fogged because it's been so long. I obviously must not remember as vividly as I thought I did. To see him beat the team that he said he was going to beat, to see him overcome all of the adversity, to see him just come into the next season, not only with the mindset of I'm going to fucking beat you, but I'm going to do it at any means, was just incredible. And the determination that Kobe Bryant had that year was just, I don't even know what to say.